Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch and today we're going to take a look at Zeraora VSTAR, a brand new VSTAR card that just came out with Zeraora VMAX in a beautiful promo collection that you can pick up on Pokemon TCG Live right now. This card is very, very cool. Let's talk about it. It's a 270 HP Lightning type VSTAR Pokemon with 2 solid attacks. 2 lightning and a colorless is its first attack, Crushing Beat, which deals 190 damage, and then you may elect to discard a stadium card in play. If you do that, that's fantastic. You potentially remove Path to the Peak, or another stadium that might be supporting your opponent, or simply removing a stadium so that you can play another one from your hand in your next turn. The real exciting part of Zeraora VSTAR though is its VSTAR power. Lightning Storm Star for 3 lightning and a colorless. We can deal 60 damage to any targets that we like. It's difficult to explain. We choose a Pokemon 4 times, and then for every time we chose that Pokemon, we put 60 damage on it. That means that we can theoretically put 240 damage on one Pokemon if we want to, or we can choose 4 different Pokemon and put 60 damage on each of them. That means that we can set up turns where maybe we get 2 or 3 prizes at the same time. Maybe we can even knock out 3 or 4 Pokemon and win the game from behind with Lightning Storm Star. A very, very good VSTAR power. The VMAX is pretty solid as well. Here it is, a 320 HP Lightning type VMAX Pokemon. Its main attack is Reactive Pulse. For 2 Lightning Energy, you're going to be dealing 60 damage for every one of your opponent's Pokemon that has an ability. Against decks like Palkia, you will be dealing hundreds of damage, up to 600 or 700 damage, depending on how many Pokemon they have in play with abilities. That is very, very good, and in general, it's going to deal a pretty solid chunk of damage regardless. Most decks play Pokemon with abilities, it's just the way that it is. We also have Max Fist for 2 lightning and a colorless. We deal 240 damage, and then discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. It's a relatively safe attack, and if our opponent doesn't have any of those abilities in play, then we can take a knockout on a Pokemon V, or possibly even a low HP Pokemon V-Star. This is going to be supported by our Dynamotor Flaaffy. This card has been around for quite a while now and is a very efficient way of accelerating lightning energy to your benched lightning Pokemon. Dynamotor means that for every Flaaffy you have in play, you can take 1 lightning energy from your discard pile and attach it to a Pokemon on your bench. And if we have 3 Flaaffies in play, that means that we can theoretically power up Zeraora VSTAR's VSTAR power in 1 turn. That is super, super nice. The rest of the deck is relatively self-explanatory. It's kind of a little bit difficult to see all the way over there, but that's okay. It is down in the description if you would like to play along at home. In the meantime, though, let's jump out onto Pokemon TCG Live and see if we can't get this thing to win and take some prizes at the same time. I think that's usually how decks win, right? Time to go, and we are up against Palkia VSTAR first off. We've top-decked into a battle pass, so let's get started. We're gonna grab the Mareep for sure. I think we also grab Radiant Greninja here. We can put those both onto the bench and then use concealed cards to start putting lightning energy in the discard pile. Then we'll go for Trekking Shoes. Discard another lightning energy and find a Zeraora VMAX. We are looking pretty good here. I do like that Stormy Mountain, though. We're going to grab that. We're going to put that on the field, and then we're going to use Stormy Mountains to search out another lightning Pokemon. I am thinking Mareep. There's possibly an argument for Zeraora, actually. Let's play the Zeraora, because that way we can at least power up a VMAX. We are going up against Palkia, so you never know. We might be able to take a knockout next turn, but it does depend on whether or not our opponent plays down enough Pokemon with abilities, and Palkia usually has to wait a couple of turns to do that, so we'll see how we go. They've got their own VIP Battle Pass over there. They're going to be grabbing a Radiant Greninja and also a Palkia. They'll be starting to set their board up. Another Battle Pass means probably a couple of Sobbles, and that is the case. So yeah, it looks like both of us have had an okay setup. That Manaphy is a little bit frustrating. Now we won't be able to use the V-Star ability, the V-Star power, to take knockouts on benched Sobbles, but that's okay. We are in an awkward spot to say the least, though. We actually don't have any way to draw cards from this hand. Let's Stormy Mountain here. We'll grab another Mareep. And I think maybe just set up with a Dynamotor. They've got 1 energy in the discard pile. We have at least 1. I think we're just going to go for the Dynamotor here, and we'll start putting energy onto the benched Zeraora. We could also theoretically evolve some Pokemon. I don't think we need to. I think we can just pass here. But really, we are in an unfortunate position. Well, we haven't really been able to capitalize on the fact that we're up against a matchup that is weak to us. And now our opponent has a chance to push themselves in front. Palkia, obviously very, very good at taking knockouts. So they will be able to get a KO on this Zeraora, you would think. I'm not sure. We're going to have to wait and see what we get up to here. At least we do have the VMAX for next turn. The VMAX is going to be taking a knockout now that there are 4 Pokemon with abilities on our opponent's side of the field. That is going to be a pretty hefty 240 damage, times that one by 2 as well, because they are weak to lightning. So 500, what is it, 480. 480 damage is more than 280. That'll take a knockout for us. But the issue is we don't have any way to draw cards, and I really would like to see them. Looks like our opponent is going to be setting up a Drizzile on the opposite side of the field. Maybe looking to attack with an Inteleon at some point in the near future. Trying to skew that prize trade. Looks like they are also going to be evolving into a Drizzile. And going searching for some other cards here. So maybe maybe they're in too good of a position. They're going to play down the training court, so at least we could theoretically grab some more cards with Greninja. They're going to knock out the Zeraora. Let's see what we can do here. We'll see what we can do. Whether or not we can actually get an attack off is another question. We'll put the Flaaffy in the active. Okay, so we've got an attacker. We've got a Marnie as well. That means we can probably just Dynamotor here. We don't need to worry too much about the Greninja, per se. We're going to play down another Flaaffy. Probably playing that down, and then there might actually be an argument to put down Regieleki now as well. Let's just attach the energy to the Zeraora first. I think we just go for the Marnie. And hopefully we are able to set up another attacker. We've got we've got 3 Speed Lightnings here. It's quite a lot. We can attach one of those to Zeraora VMAX. No access to a second Zeraora here. I'd really like to see one off of this concealed cards. We'll discard a Speed Lightning and at least found an Ultra Ball, so that's good. We can use that. We can Ultra Ball away probably a Choice Belt and a Flaaffy. Seems pretty reasonable. Grab ourselves another basic Zeraora, and this means we'll have another attacker next turn, even if our opponent is able to take a big knockout. We've got Reactive Pulse here. There are 5 Pokemon on our opponent's side of the field with abilities. That means we're dealing 600 damage to a Palkia. It's pretty solid. But the big issue is that we are a little bit behind. They have taken 2 prizes already. We are just now catching up. We'll see whether or not our opponent is able to get there. Going to be quick shooting, maybe setting up some damage on the VMAX, trying to knock that out at some stage. We'll see whether or not we are able to get in front. There's a good chance that we actually survive here. Although, if they find a scoop-up net, that could be very awkward for us. Also, by the way, thank you very much for all the support on the video last night. Deoxys V-Star, if you haven't seen it, there'll be a link to it at the end of the video, I am sure. Thank you very much to all of those people that jumped on and talked to me about live. I think that it looks pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same as PTCGO. And for me, I have no reason to play PTCGO anymore, because I'm not playing in Team Challenge. I don't really mind if I play in Players' Cup again. There's going to be a global release in the next couple of months for the beta for Pokemon TCG Live. Well, I think the game is good enough. I'm happy to migrate. And it's actually funny that I mentioned that, because I may very well be streaming at 6 PM on Sunday, if you're watching this as the video goes live, to click that migrate button. We'll see how we go. If you don't want me to migrate, comment down below. Don't migrate. And if everyone comments, then I'll probably still do it anyway, to be brutally honest. Probably just do it, because it doesn't, you know, doesn't really matter to me, frankly. Doesn't matter. Alright, there's a big play from our opponent here. Taking a knockout on the benched Zeraora. And this puts us in a really weird spot. Because we probably could just take a knockout on the active with Zeraora VMAX and it would be fine. But the problem is, if they are able to get a really big turn here, they will very easily win the game. So I think that our best odds of winning are actually to just attack with Regieleki here. So we're going to go for the trekking shoes. It looks like we've got a VIP pass. We don't want that in our hand. There's a Manaphy. Don't need that. They've already used their V-Star power. It might be a time to Ultra Ball away a couple of lightning energies and then use Terra Spark. The issue is, if we want to use Terra Spark with Regieleki, we actually need to find a choice belt pretty quickly. How many of them do we have left? We've got one left. Okay, so maybe it's best to go for a Crobat here. Our hand's kind of awkward for a Crobat, though. Maybe we just grab a Pokemon that we don't really care about and Marnie and then hope for the best. I think that's probably fine. We'll put the Mew in our hand and then Marnie. Hopefully we just find the choice belt and we don't need to stress. Otherwise we can possibly Crobat. Oh, we find all of them, so that's perfectly fine. We've got the choice belt, we've got the air balloon for a second Flaaffy if we want it. We've got energy for next turn, which I like. And we also have boss's orders, which is going to be good. If we can find a second knockout on that Palkia on the bench, I'll be very, very happy. There's the choice belt. There's the air balloon. Probably fine to just retreat now into Regieleki. And we will Terra Spark, will take the knockout. Now, this is an awkward one. I don't think it really matters where these 40 go. It doesn't make any difference to me at all. This is an awkward one. If our opponent doesn't knock out Regieleki next turn, and instead just pings our VMAX and passes, we're actually in a really awkward spot. So we kind of have to hope that they do attack. Since we had the choice belt on the active, we can't actually retreat this Regieleki without them knocking us out. So we'll wait and see whether we are able to survive here. Looks like they are setting up, though, for an Inteleon attack. And if Aqua Bullet is the attack that they go for, and our hand remains the same, we should be fine. It looks like that is the attack that is on their mind. They've attached to the Inteleon. Here comes a Drizzile. We are sitting with the boss in our hand, so we should be able to come back here. Provided, of course, that there's not like a big Roxanne. Okay, well, this could be really awkward. Roxanne, we need to hope that we draw into... Well, boss would win the game. If we draw into a Crobat or a way to find a Crobat, we could do that. Energy would be fine because we can Radiant Greninja. Or we could just find double boss off of the Roxanne and just win the game like that. So that's fine. I'm just going to sit back and relax now. Double boss is more than enough. In fact, it's one more. It's one more than we needed. So I'm just going to sit here in my little corner. I'm just going to relax because the game is now over. How are you, by the way? Also, I am covering up this number here. This is the amount of prizes I have left. But this number is also available on the other side of the screen, over there. So if you look, the little blue 2, that's the amount of prizes I have left to take. So if I am covering it up, I'm sorry, but it doesn't really matter because you can see it on the right-hand side. Anyway, okay, let's go for the boss. We will bring the Palkia into the active, and then we are going to be dealing another solid 600 damage to this Palkia V, taking our last couple of cards. Now, it's all well and good to see a Lightning-type Pokemon take knockouts against Palkia, but can we do it against something else? We'll jump back into another game and see if we can't get Zeraora VSTAR to attack. Here we go, a pretty good hand to start us off. We've got another VIP Battle Pass, which is going to grab us a Mareep and a Zeraora. We've got a couple of energies in hand. We've got a couple of air balloons. I like this. We've got a Marnie for next turn, and most importantly, we are up against Clefairy, which is going to be very, very juicy. Maybe this is our chance for Zeraora VSTAR to shine. If they have 4 Clefairies in play, which they'll want to do, we can take a knockout on each of them with Zeraora VSTAR's attack, its V-Star power. A very, very powerful attack here, but they probably will play down a Manaphy. We do need to be aware of that. Hopefully, though, all works out relatively well. I mean, how hard can it be for us to get a knockout on a couple of Clefairies? It can't be too tough. Surely not. Surely that can't be too difficult. Alright, there's the first few of them. There's one card left in hand, and it is a Marnie. So we are being punished here for not playing down the Air Balloon. And this is not an ideal hand, to say the very least. I will say, though, Zeraora VMAX is going to be dealing plenty of damage. Every single one of the Pokemon that's in our opponent's deck will have an ability. All Clefairies do. I imagine that the Manaphy will, and I imagine that the inevitable Weirdeer V also has an ability. So I'm feeling relatively confident that Zeraora VMAX can probably take some KOs. The question is, can we take some knockouts with the V-Star as well? At the moment, if we do find a big enough hand, we could take 4 prizes right now. Like, we could get all 4 of them with Zeraora V-Star right now, and that would be incredible. Don't know how likely it is. We don't have any energy in the discard pile. Maybe there's an argument to attack to playing down a Greninja last turn. I'm not sure. Let's go for a couple of trekking shoes. We don't want that boss's orders. We would love to see some more cards. A speed lightning energy is pretty good. We definitely need to see more cards. Let's see. Can we get some sort of retreat? Get a Crobat and a boss. This is kind of awkward here. We could evolve the VMAX and just boss out like a Pokemon. What's the card that I want to knock out the most? I think I want to knock out the Greninja the most. Because the best case scenario is we find a copy of Air Balloon. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll boss out the Greninja. We will play down the Zeraora, and then we'll Crobat for 4. And hopefully we can find an Air Balloon into a knockout on this Radiant Greninja. That is not going to do the job, but we can at least Ultra Ball here. We'll get rid of the Cancelling Clone and a Energy. And grab ourselves another Zeraora. So that we can use the V-Star next turn. Not ideal, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. We've got enough in the tank that we should be able to get the win. And plus, we can fall theoretically 5 prizes behind, as long as we are able to take 2 prizes before our opponent takes 6. We should be able to use the V-Star power to win the game. So, not feeling too worried. Although I will say, the longer these Clefairy are able to power themselves up, the more threatened my VMAX actually is. Not from the Clefairies themselves, but from the very frightening Weirdeer V, which will come out and do 40 damage for every energy attached to it. And when it moves into the active, it can move all of the energy from the bench onto it, which at the moment will be moving 8. 8 times 4 is plenty. In fact, 8 times 4 is exactly enough. I think that's the case. So we have to be careful. Looks like they're gonna just keep going with the Clefairies here, just attaching a bunch of energy as we go through. This Mareep is unfortunately done for. There's not much we can realistically do for it, but we can at least get an attack next turn, which I'm not unhappy about. We're gonna have to Marnie though. Marnie our opponent. It's going to be kind of awkward to do that, but that's alright, we can manage. There's the second Cancelling Cologne. We kind of want to use that if and when our opponent goes for a Manaphy, but we'll throw it away because at the moment we just want to get cards into our hand, and we are really struggling to do anything of meaning here. We've got another Zeraora which we could play down. I don't think we need to care. Let's just chuck I guess we put it on the bench. And then we'll Reactive Pulse. Gonna take a knockout, 300 damage, because every single Pokemon has an ability, but this is kind of feeling like a weak start to me. We desperately need to find some Flaaffies and hopefully a way to take a bunch of prize cards. If our opponent comes in with a Weirdeer here, we actually need to avoid taking those 4 prizes and instead take a knockout on the Weirdeer with something else, and that could be nearly impossible. Could be nearly impossible. There's only 2 ways our deck can realistically knock out a Weirdeer. That's with the VMAX, which will be removed from play this turn, or by using the V-Star power to place all 4 60 pieces of damage onto the Weirdeer, because it's 4 choices, right? So you choose a Pokemon 4 times, any Pokemon 4 times, and then use the choices you made to deal 60 damage. Just let me show you. Let me show you the way it works. Here's a Weirdeer. This VMAX is dead. We're losing this VMAX. This Zeraora VMAX was not long for this world, And it is now headed directly to the discard pile. It will not pass go, and it definitely will not collect any dollars at all. Not even one. Not even $1 collected by this VMAX, and now we are in some strife. Is there a way that we come back and win this game? We must take a knockout on the Weird Ear. We must do that. Okay, so I can still get Choice Belt on the Zeraora VSTAR and knock the Weird Ear out, leaving me with the option to use the VSTAR power. So we're still okay. It's not impossible. It's not likely, but it's not impossible. There's an Evo Incense. That's good. That's a step in the right direction. We're going to grab the Flaaffy. We're going to evolve. And this will allow us to use our VSTAR at the very least. Let's attach, and then we're going to Marnie. We're looking for a Choice Belt. If we can find one, we play 3. If we get the Choice Belt, the game is easy. That is not good. That is not good at all. At least we found the second Flaaffy. So now, I think our only realistic play, because we cannot allow this Weird Ear to stand, our only realistic play here is to Dynamotor twice to the Zeraora, and then I think we're going to simply have to just use Lightning Storm Star and choose Weird Ear 4 times. I think it's going to have to just be it. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, to say the least, because there was 4 prizes I could have taken that turn. But 4 prizes wouldn't win me the game. Only knocking that Weird Ear will. So we've got to try and get there. The disappointing thing is that we got the Choice Belt off the prizes. So unfortunate. Unfortunate. Choice Belt would have made this game so much better. We could have knocked out the active and then set up for a really big, really big Lightning Storm Star attack this turn. But now this game is going to drag on. We need to take 3 prizes, and our opponent needs to take 2. That's 1 knockout. They might be able to get it, depending on how many energy they have access to. There's all of those Clefairies in play. There's a whole bunch there. And an energy recycler. So we'll be seeing a ton of energy coming into play this turn. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance if we retreat. It's not likely, but it's possible. I see a research. There goes a boss and a bird keeper. So they're going to run out of support at some point. I'm just not happy about this. Also, I feel like the music in the background's a little bit bugged. I don't know if that's the music that we're supposed to be hearing right now. Normally we hear like or something similar. This sounds like the loading music, but that's okay. It's fine. Some nice ambiance for us as we desperately take 1 prize after another. Let's see if we can get there. Another energy recycler. This Mew is putting in work. All those energies back into the deck. That's at least 10. At least 10 energies going back in. And now we're going to see a bunch of Clefairy action. They're going to Moon Watching Party several times, I would imagine. Although only 3 cards in deck suggests to me that maybe, just maybe, they might not be able to attack this turn. Escape Rope. Okay, so this gives us a chance. We can put the Flaaffy in the active here. At least they won't be knocking out the Zeraora. That is good. I'm going to go for a Clefairy. Get a whole bunch of energies onto the field. They'll be able to attach as well with the training court, you would think. Nothing's happening. Do they not have the attack? They don't have any energy. Okay. We might have accidentally just stolen ourselves some spot here. That's really strange that they wouldn't retreat into the Clefairy on the bench. They've given us a bit of a go here. Let's use Speed Lightning Energy. See what we can grab. There's Regieleki if we want him. We've got Shoes as well. I don't really care about this Stormy Mountain. I'm going to put that in the discard pile. We've got another Evo Incense, which is pretty good. What we might do is we might use Ordinary Rod first. We'll play that down and put the VMAX back in. I feel like we're going to need that as an attacker. to try and kind of tank a couple of hits here. We can grab it straight away with the Evo Incense. Just double check. Is Greninja still in the deck? It is. We've got a fair few cards left. Not a huge amount of supporters, but a fair few cards. We can throw down this Zeraora VMAX and then attach to it. We can't attach to it. There's no lightning energy in the discard pile. We'll better put one there. Okay. Let's grab the Greninja now. The Greninja deserves to be back. Deserves to be back. We'll grab the Greninja. Let's Training Court. We'll use the Greninja. We'll concealed cards here, discard that lightning energy, and then attach it using Dynamotor to the Zeraora. They have one card left, so Marnie is not a good supporter here. I think our best choice actually is to boss. We could boss up the Clefairy with 3 energy on it. And just remove as many energy from our opponent's field as possible. We don't want them to have access to too many cards. And too many energy means that that weird ear could potentially come back and create some big problems for us. Alright. We're grinding. We're getting there. We're grinding our way to a potential victory. The last card was Research. Okay, so they got out. Maybe Marnie was better. Maybe Marnie was better. There's the energy. They've got 6 energy in play once this attachment's happened. It looks like they'll be concealing cards as well. We need to... Well, I mean, we're not going to get knocked out this turn. Unlikely, at the very least, that we get knocked out this turn. We could then retreat into the V-Star and hopefully take a knockout from there. Escape Rope makes our life that little bit easier because Flaaffy could theoretically do the job. There's a lot of energy on our opponent's side of the field, though, and a Manaphy. Even if we hadn't used our V-Star power, it would be difficult to win. They go down to 1 prize remaining, and now we have access to a Zeraora VMAX or a Zeraora VSTAR. Those are the only attackers that are realistically viable for us now. We're going to attach the Speed Lightning, draw a couple of cards and see what we can find. Neither of those are useful. We'll attach an Air Balloon, and then I think we just Marnie. We'll do our best to reduce the options that they have. We don't have any options either, by the looks of things. We'll get rid of these 2 VIP Battle Passes. Completely useless now. And we will grab that Mew. Maybe could be useful. Maybe could be useful. Alright, what do we have? What do we have? I've lost so many resources. I think it's just a matter now of retreating into our VMAX, taking a knockout and saying, you don't have it, opponent. You don't have the game. You've got 9 cards to work with, and in those 9 cards, you do not have the way to win. Bearing in mind that they will win if they have boss's orders or if they find another weird ear. I think that's actually a pretty good chance of being a victory as well. Weird ear could very easily just come through and win. We're going to see an energy attachment with Moon Watching Party to the benched Clefairy. That's 6 energy. An attachment to the active is 7. The weird is still in the discard pile, so they would either need to play a second or an Ordinary Rod to get it back. This is not looking great. There's Boss! Why'd they go for the Crobat? Why'd they go for the Crobat? Well, I mean, we're going to take it. We'll attach to this Crobat and retreat. But we should have lost. We should have lost that game. Which is disappointing. Which is disappointing. Because I really would have loved Zeraora to have taken a bunch of prizes there. But hey, according to Pokemon Live, we won that game, and that's fine. They must have just miscounted the amount of damage that they were dealing. It's a weird one. So even though we probably should have lost that game, we at least got to see both the VMAX and V-Star in action. I think these 2 cards are actually really, really cool, and the games that I had with them were really fun. You should definitely check them out if you get the chance. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along as usual. If you liked the video, then please make sure that you've subscribed. That makes a big difference, as does hitting that like button. It's the single most impactful thing you could do for your favorite YouTuber. Over here, we've got another video for you to watch. This is Deoxys VSTAR and VMAX, which just came out on Pokemon TCG Live. And if you're a real big fan, become a member. All the people that are behind the video. They're all behind the video. You can't see them now. But you can scroll back and you could see them. You could do it. Anyway, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Farewell.